Jennifer Kesse was 24 years old when she disappeared from Orlando, Florida in January 2006. Nearly 2 decades later, and no arrests have been made. Today, we're going to walk through what happened and why this case still remains unsolved. Jennifer was 24 years old. She was a finance manager for a timeshare company that was in Ocoee, Florida. She was a recent graduate of the University of Central Florida, where she graduated in 2003 with a degree in finance. She was responsible, career driven, and she had a love for life. Jennifer had just recently returned from a vacation to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where she went with her boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend lived in South Florida, so when they arrived back home from this vacation on Sunday, she stayed at her boyfriend's house. So the next morning would be Monday, January 23rd. Jennifer went to work as usual. She attended work that day and she was last seen leaving work approximately 6 p.m. She talked to her father and family members on the phone after she had got off of work, and the last communication that we know Jennifer had was with her boyfriend that evening around approximately 10 p.m. The next day, Tuesday, January 24th, Jennifer didn't show up to work. That was extremely unusual for her to be a no call, no show. So her job contacted her parents. Her parents then contacted the condo association where she lived and asked the manager to go and check out and see if anything was unusual. The condo manager reported back that nothing seemed unusual, but that Jennifer's car was missing. So her parents decided to make the drive from Tampa to Orlando to try to help and see what's going on. Her boyfriend also mentioned, because he lives in South Florida, that they communicate every morning on their way to work, and that Jennifer didn't answer that day, that his phone call went straight to voicemail, but he just chalked it up to her attending a meeting or something. By the time her parents got to her condo in Orlando, they discovered that there were clothes laid out. It looked like there was a wet towel as well as some hairstyling products. So it looked like Jennifer had been up that morning and gone to work. It seemed like she was possibly there that day. So then they phoned the Orlando Police Department. Because Jennifer was 24 years old, they didn't immediately start doing any kind of missing person or anything like that. They thought maybe she just left on her own accord, but her parents and friends of Jennifer immediately began searching and immediately began making flyers and posters. So later that evening, the Orlando Police Department decided they should make some interviews and investigations here so that they can get involved here. On Thursday, January 26th, a witness recognized Jennifer's 2004 Chevy Malibu that was parked at another apartment complex not even 2 miles away from Jennifer's condo. The police went and did find that it was Jennifer's car, so they recovered the vehicle to do some forensic testing and investigation. But they only were able to find a partial latent fingerprint and a small DNA fiber, but nothing turned up. It does appear that the rest of the vehicle, other than that, was pretty much wiped down. So they began to check the area for nearby surveillance footage. Surveillance footage was found. And what was found on that footage was Jennifer's car being driven into that parking lot and an unidentified suspect parking the car, waiting about 30 seconds or so, and then exiting the car and walking away down the road. So that surveillance footage takes still shots every 3 seconds. And every 3 seconds, this identified suspect was behind a pole or a fence post. And so the face was never captured. The police asked the FBI and NASA to try to enhance the video so that they can try to find out anything about this man or woman, what their hair looks like, if they're wearing a hat or anything. But the surveillance footage, I mean, they're working with captures from 2006 and that technology, and it just has never been a clear photograph or footage to really be able to tie anybody down to this. Because Jennifer's purse and cell phone were the only things that were missing, it didn't really suggest that a robbery had gone wrong. The investigation consisted of the police interviewing her boyfriend that she went to the Virgin Islands with. He was cleared. An ex-boyfriend, he was cleared. A manager, they were cleared. But there were construction workers at her condo complex that Jennifer had mentioned to her family that she was feeling uneasy about. They were catcalling her and things like that. So investigators examined that angle, but due to language barriers, there really wasn't a lot of interviews conducted with them, and no charges were ever filed. Jennifer Kesse's disappearance remains one of Florida's most well-known unsolved cases. Despite national attention, forensic review, and ongoing advocacy from her family and friends, no arrests have been made. If you have any information regarding Jennifer Kesse's disappearance, the authorities urge you to contact the Orlando Police Department. Thank you for watching.